Hello, comics people. I'm Mel Casipit, and I'm pleased to announce our official collaboration with the Philippine International Comics Festival 2025, happening on July 5 and 6 from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. at Megatrade Hall 2, SM Mega Mall. As part of this partnership, we'll be conducting special interview series featuring creators launching new titles peak of 2025. This interview will also be available sa Facebook page namin as well as sa Indie Comics Podcast YouTube channel. So for tonight, ang special guest natin ay yung napaka prolific na group of comics creators yan, from Laguna. Ang Makiling Comic Collective. Yan. So unahin natin si Michelle. Hello Michelle, welcome to the show.
Hi po, Sir Mel. Thank you for having me po. So, ako po si Michelle. I'm originally from Baguio po, pero schooling po sa Philippine High School for the Arts, where MKK po is based in. So, just a little taster of what MKK is. So, MKK po is yung Makiling Comic Collective. It's the school's only comic organization. So, yun po. I actually have a PDF if you'd like to see po. Okay, presenting. Oh, wait. Hello po. Dinig po kayo. Di ko po yun. Nakamute po kayo, Sir Mel.
Oh, sorry.
Hi po.
Sorry, nakamute pala ako. Okay. Yun. So, ang sinabi ko kanina, ang Indie Comics Podcast ay nasa YouTube. Nandun lahat ng mga previous episodes. Meron din kami sa Spotify, meron din kami sa iTunes and Google Podcast. So, check nyo kami doon. Ayan. So, ito na yung Makiling Comics Collective na PDF na prepare nila Michelle ng MKK. Please go ahead. Introduce mo kami sa grupo nyo.
So, ito po ang Makiling Comic Collective. Our tagline now is just a bunch of high school students. Pero ngayon na pick off is just a bunch of high school students with new releases. Next is, so yung MKK po, Makiling Comic Collective, as I said, galing po siya sa Philippine High School for the Arts, where a student-led organization po. So as much as possible, kami lang po yung yung gumagawa ng mga comics, nagpiprint, nagpa-publish, nag-sell sa mga conventions, ganun po. And originally po, it started as just a comics appreciation club pre-pandemic. Pero during the pandemic, parang ang rami pong halt na activities, events, and even yung relationships ng mga members here. So, it only got reestablished when we went back to school mga 3 years ago. It was reestablished by a familiar face po dito sa IKP and of course comic circles all around the Philippines. It's si Albert Reyes or After Bron. So,
yan.
siya po yung
naging guest namin yan nakaraan.
Opo eh. Actually, diba po last year, siya rin po yung nag-introduce ng MKK sa Pick-Off.
Last year sa Pick-Off din.
Opo. Nakabarong pa po siya eh. Pero ako, casual lang. So, yun po. We try to give our members as much freedom po in their storytelling, in their making of comics. Actually, we don't only make comics. We also make novels. with a side of illustrations rin po. So, lahat po ng stories na ginagawa sa MKK is all from the minds and the hearts of our members. So, yun po. Next slide is, I'll be introducing po our first new comics release po. And it's
Okay.
called the Makiling Comic Collective Comics Anthology Volume 4. So, it's part of this series po, we call the MKK Anthology series, where we release one per year to showcase yung growth po ng mga members namin. So, if you see po sa baba dito sa other titles in MKK Anthology series, parang may 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, 3 of those, yung pinakauna is actual volumes po. So, volume 1, it was released pre-pandemic, kaya medyo iba po yung format niya. We sold it for 15 pesos po. We were at a net loss that time.
Grabe naman, 50 ba o 15?
15 po.
Sobrang mura naman.
Yun nga po parang bata lang po ako nun. Like, I was 12, tas may entry po ako doon, tas yung mga older students po yung may hawak po ng printing, tas ano lang po, 15 po, okay, I will sell at 15, ganun. So, after that, after the pandemic po, yung volume 2, it was released mga 2023 po. And very blessed po yung MKK na Volume 2 and Volume 3 were included sa finalists at the Angoulême Independent Comic Anthology Awards po. So, Volume 2 and
Wow.
Volume 3.
Well, congrats sa inyo.
Thank you po. It was so surprising. So,
Yeah.
very, wow! Nakaka-wow.
Oo.
Pero yun po.
Mamaya pag-usapan natin yan kung paano nangyari yun. How, kayo ba yung nag-submit? Sila ba yung nag-invite? Ganyan. Kasi, baka may mga may mga nanonood na gusto ring siguro mag-submit para ma-consider in the future. Ganyan.
Of course po, of course. Yes po. Tapos yung dalawa po after the third one is specials po. So, because we wanted to give more than the one anthology per year, gumawa rin po kami ng special that also has the same members. Then this last one is called the New Bloods, which is what we like to call our freshman members. So, parang talagang new blood. And so, yun po. Those are the other titles. But this time, our new release is called the MKK Comics Anthology Volume 4. And it's the newest one, the newest anthology to the series. I can't say a lot because that would be spoiling po the whole book. Pero if you have the previous anthologies, you will be able to see many of the members, and I would say that they all improved po from the previous. And I think yun po yung point po ng making an anthology every year with the same people, is to see how they change, how they grow up in their comics making, how they create different stories, or how they continue different stories. But, you know, with an air of being a year older. Ganun.
Oo. Yun naman talaga yung idea, yung pag-improve every year. Yan.
Yun po.
Sige, go ahead,
So,
continue.
Thank you po. And so, next ones are solo releases po. So, some members, including myself, will be releasing our own comics series or standalone comics. So, mine is called Mao. It's under the left po. And it's the first volume in a 7-book series po. And very inspired by Makiling and just living there as a student in a boarding school. Parang sa bundok lang, walang Oh, I wouldn't say walang internet kasi meron na yan po at this day and age. Pero it's still hard to like, connect easily. So just being in the space of Makiling uh, made me inspired to make a book on it. And so, yung special interest ko po is gumagamit po ako ng mga horror stories to build a story on. So, ito, it's built upon this, not really horror story, pero yung istorya po na pag nasa bundok ka ng makiling, wag kang, don't ever follow the animals because who knows what's going to happen since rainforest po yung makiling and unless you're really adept at, at being in a forest, you're probably gonna get lost for a couple days or maybe you're gonna get lost for ever. Ganun.
Hmm.
So, yun po. Aside from that, yung story na to, may hadong romance. I wouldn't say it's a romance yet, pero start po siya. And it's between two girls. And so roommates sila and then one of them will go missing and the other one's drive is to find their missing girlfriend po. So that's
Okay.
Mao.
Mm-mm.
And I'll be handing off the mic po to Langit to introduce his solo work, Sobieski po.
Hello po. Am I audible? Ano po? Your mic is off.
Ay, sorry. Ayan. Ino-off ko kasi na ano na naririnig yung aircon ko minsan. So yun. Welcome to the show, Langit. Okay, so please introduce us to your comics as well as yourself na din para maging familiar yung mga viewers about your work and you as the creator.
Thank you po. Hello, my name is Langit Biaya Z. Miguel, and this is Sobieski. Uh, this story is inspired by cyberpunk, where it basically tackles the controversy of cloning technology and what it can be used for in a power sense in a political setting. In in the story, you follow this detective who is basically investigating the murders of politicians who actually turn out to use this cloning technology, which is illegal. And yeah, this is the first of 8 issues that's coming out, and I think it'll be a pretty good story and to share to the world. Honestly, I'm really excited to keep working on it, and yeah, it's actually connected to my other comic series, Exoskeletal, where it's the same timeline, but it's not in the same setting. So yeah.
Mm. Okay. So you're the sci-fi guy of the group.
Yes, you can say I'm the sci-fi guy of the group.
Okay, so just a quick question bago tayo mag-move on dun sa mga susunod na members. Ano yung mga paborito mong kinoconsume na media? Not necessarily comics but pwede rin comics na cyberpunk or yung mga nakapag-inspire sa'yo na gumawa rin ng ganitong klaseng genre ng stories.
I think the most prevalent one, besides comics, because I'm making comics are my main reference, it would be video games and movies. And most of the time, if you can't tell, they are mostly sci-fi action genre. So a lot of my works will actually be pretty action-packed and be set in a sci-fi world.
Ayun. What's your favorite video game na sci-fi?
Uh, I think I think one of the main ones that I looked at before when I was a lot younger would be Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, which
Mm,
kind of inspired. my exoskeletal series in some aspects.
Yeah. Ayos. Okay. Sige, Michelle, you have other members na gustong introduce yung comics nila?
Okay, so yung mga next members is hindi po siya comics pero novels po. So this is part po na sinasabi ko po kanina na we accept all forms of storytelling from our members and MKK will be their platform to share. So
Okay.
the next ones will be novels.
Yan,
So this
novels.
is the Tales from the Garden series by Ari Tolentino. And
Yan, nandito ba si ano? Kasama natin si
si Ari.
Ari. Okay. Yan. Welcome
There
to
we
the
go
show.
po.
Yan.
Hello
Welcome to the
po.
show, Ari.
Ako po si Ari Tolentino, 18 po, and this is my series of novels na trilogy, Tales from the Gardens. As you can see po, it's a novel series about, yun nga po, talking vegetables. Very much inspired po siya by my upbringing, growing up in a farm po. Very involved po yung family ko po sa agriculture, and nag-seep and influence din po siya um sa writing ko po in general. Like these two releases, Pat the Potato and Pepper Gone Home, they just parang go go around like telling the stories of what these you could say these vegetables have been doing with their lives, like parang for example, Pat the Potato is more so an adventure. It's like I made this when I was grade 7. It was more so just a normal adventure, just something I wrote parang when I was still learning how to write in general. And as the years went on po, my writing got better, and it eventually transformed into my final, supposedly final book in the series, Pepper Gone Home. It's much more, it's less of an adventure and much more personal. And yes po, very much character driven. It's less story of like heroes and villains fighting, and more so like an adventure of self-reflection and um self-reflection and changing. Yun nga po. For the future, I'm not sure if I'm going to continue this series. Pero yeah, yun po. Those are my books.
Yun. Thank you, Ari, for introducing us to your novels. I'm very curious, how did it how did it start? Paano mo naisip na involved yung family ko sa farming? So I would like to create stories na ang bida mga gulay. Any other media na na-consume mo noon na you think nakapag-influence sa'yo na gulay yung gawin mong bida? O just solely because your family is involved in farming?
About that, like another big influence din po ay mga Roald Dahl books po. Marami pong examples of anthropomorphism na ginagamit po niya, where he uses mundane, ordinary objects and turns them into characters. I could say po na Roald Dahl is another very big influence sa writing and sa stories ko po.
Ayan. Okay, mag-hi muna tayo sa mga viewers natin. Baka kilala nyo to. Albert Emireyes.
Hi, Albert!
Woo, let's go, sabi niya. Tapos RH Kilantang, hi guys. Ayan. Hello, Sir RH. Ayan. Question for you, Ari. Why do you think, ano sa tingin mo yung advantage ng using anthropomorphic characters instead of real persons sa story mo? Isa sa mga naiisip ko kasi, um, you can get away from yung parang racism, ganyan. Kasi iba-iba, gulay siya, hindi siya person or group of people eh. So, one advantage is you can represent symbolism ng iba't ibang ethnicity or iba't ibang race using gulay. Ano pa sa tingin mo yung advantage ng paggamit ng mga anthropomorphized na gulay or other characters compared to yung using mga persons sa paggawa ng story?
I could say a big advantage po of just using like parang yun nga po gulay. Um, like dahil nga po like anthropomorphic like objects and characters nga po sila. It's less rooted po in reality, and with that you're allowed to do much more parang how do I say this? Ridiculous things sa setting mo, and that can help you make something that really stands out from other pieces of media po. Yun lang po.
Yan. I think pagiging memorable, isa sa mga magiging memorable talaga kasi gulay. Bihirang-bihira yung gumagamit ng gulay sa mga stories nila. Lalo na kung yung story mo ay serious, hindi siya mga pambata. Ayan. Mag-hi tayo kay ayaw lumabas. Nag-comment si Alili Aurelio Flores. Hello, galing nyo. Okay. Sinong next natin, Michelle?
So, yung next natin is si Anika Ocampo, showing off Fedora Security. Actually, before she starts, I would like to say na Fedora Security also has a prequel na comic that we were selling before. And so, ito po yung novel, but it's a longer story. So, yun lang.
Okay, so novels din ito. Okay, so let's welcome Anika. Hello, Anika.
Hi po. Sorry, just a comment. I'd like to include our cats po. They're just roaming around in the meantime. But sorry, this is Sarah. But yes, hello po. And then I'm a classmate of Ari, and Rojo, Ari, and I are in the same major in MKK and in our school in Makiling. And Fedora Security was my creative writing capstone, similar to Ari's then. And as Mish mentioned, it started out as a comic in the MKK anthologies before it developed into a full novella. And at the time in Makiling, I was very interested in piracy and tech. Thus, is medyo sa bundok po kasi yun. So in Makiling, I was learning how to code and torrent movies. And I was just using torrents and pirating programs kasi like our Wi-Fi in Makiling was very limited. So I could not be able to stream or work on anything outside of like in school area in the dorms. So I got interested in it. And then I looked into a lot of computer science scenarios. And then I also have a lot of interest in sci-fi. So I humanized a lot of the apps into a fictional story inspired by Tron or Cells at Work for Tech. So medyo naging parang science communication project po than just a fictional story. So medyo naging parang sineskwela yung atake. And then the MKK comics, on the other hand, focus on the antivirus. And this, yung bida nun, his name is Phil. And he's a kind of like a cop figure exploring how this computer world works. And like, is piracy legal? Or yung mga, how those things work in like a human kind of setting. So yung novel, however, had this plan where I'd cut the book in half. And I think there's parts of it in the comics as well, but in the early ones, where you'd see what's both going on in the inside and the outside. So parang, for example, this Ninang's account is getting doxxed. Or there's these two sisters pirating movies to watch together. And you could look into like the family dynamics and see why why are these people getting into these risky situations? And then on the other side, it's all these programs having to handle that mess. And like Phil is just overwhelmed. Yung mga ganun po. And then that was essentially the main idea, and it was very ambitious. So medyo nahirapan po ako when it came to like the research and with the school setting kasi it's very art strand. And the problem is that konti lang po yung connections pa namin to actual tech resources and connections to people or orgs to interview or research with. Pero like I'm really glad na like starting from MKK to a full novel to probably other mediums then like it has a starting point and it could work from a literary standpoint. So that was what I had as a creative writer. So medyo that was kind of the whole idea of the book. But yeah.
Ayan. What are the, maliban sa mga sinabi mong mga challenges, what are the things na discover mo while researching for this story? May mga na-discover ka bang kakaiba? Like, ganito pala mga realizations while you're doing this book?
Ano po? Actually, it started out as like kahit mga simple things as like, how does a USB work? Yung mga konting questions lang po sa Google, and then it kind of even developed into a full comic, which is on the current anthology as well, but it was also cut short. But then yung a lot of other things na like I learned from yung mga thesis advisor ko po na, for example, that the Philippines is the social media capital of the world, and there's parang ang dami pa talagang like potential. I don't know if potential is the right word, but like stuff to research on when it comes to like yung Philippines and yung tech. Like yung I Love You Worm, for example, was like developed by a Filipino programmer, and parang there's a lot of it na parang intertwined. That's also intertwined in yung mga social issues, and like the internet is also at the same time a very personal space. And yung morals that came with piracy, for example. So parang there's like a lot of stuff to play with. Pero it actually always started with yung simple things. It's like stealing movies. Yung mga ganun.
Yeah, napaka-relevant nitong topic nung book mo kasi recently na ko yung streaming, 'di ba? Sobrang dami na ng streaming platforms at may mga bumabalik ulit sa pagto-torrent. Dahil ang mahal na ng mga streaming platforms at marami na sila. So, very, very relevant itong comics mo. Ayun. Mag-hi ulit tayo sa mga nanonood. Si Catherine Marie Darling. Hello everyone. Congrats MKK team. Watching from Ontario, Canada. Wow. International. We are international. Sabi ni Eva Avila. Wow. Yan. Wow talaga. And Evelyn Gragasin. Congratulations MKK, galing nyo lahat. Yeah, napakagaling ng grupong to. Kaya sobrang special nitong episode. Sinong susunod natin Michelle?
So, hi po. Yung susunod po natin is si Jose Rojo Mabilin, and he will be introducing Frill and Cape.
Ayan. Hello, Rojo.
Hello. I've been expecting you. I'm joking. Hello po. My name is Rojo. I'm currently 19. Sorry for the camera quality. I'm 19. And I think you'll be able to tell from the cover itself. I'm a big superhero guy. Been a medium and media I've enjoyed since as far as I can remember. And I worked that fixation into Frill and Cape, which is also my thesis and final project. It's a novel, but also it's a compilation series. It's a compilation of short fictions, such as flash fictions and short stories, and even fictional media surrounding two superheroes. These superheroes in particular, ang pinili ko pong genre, makikita niyo dyan, is Magical Girl and Cape Crusader or Sidekick, yung Batman type. Kasi one of the earliest fixations I could remember is, especially with shows like Teen Titans or Sailor Moon, which were my biggest inspirations, is how do these children adjust as they grow older? Because these experiences, as fantastical as they may be presented, or as as amazing as they may be, these characters depicted as children, you have to also. I also had to consider all the way back then. Yeah, is there has to be repercussions for how they develop as people, how they are psychosocially, psychologically, and that's what this book is for. It surrounds Katsumi, the shorter one, and Esther, who are veteran superheroes, as it were, who have been doing this since they were like 12, 13. And it's changed them for, it's very much changed them. Um, as a medium, I really like superheroes for more deconstructive or otherwise more analytical works. Uh, you can see a lot of my inspirations for writing for each one, with the way you can see their mentality, how they interact with others, with each other. It's a bit of Watchmen is one of my bigger inspirations. Yeah, you see how much they've changed in that state of ennui, because in this setting, crime, supernatural threat, it's all very much gone. So when you take away yung balance of good and evil na is so apparent in superhero narratives, you're left with people at the end of the day, and seeing a peek into their lives, into how they think, how they feel. That's the main, yeah. As a result of turbulent childhood, that's the main focus of Villain Cape.
Ayun. Natutuwa ako na so far, kahit ang dami-dami nyo, iba-iba yung genre na ginagawa nyo at iba-ibang style. So ikaw, you like superheroes, and that genre of storytelling has been around for a very very long time. So how do you make yourself stand out from the previous stories na superheroes? Ano yung twist? Ano yung roho dito sa story na ginagawa mo? What
All right.
makes this story you na unique?
Well, I think with the stylings, during the process, a lot of it I had to balance with, how do I word this? With Villain Cape, I've been developing these characters since I was like, 14, 15, since 2020. These characters have evolved over time from very much just parody to more deconstruction, to more just another adaptation. And I think with this one, with Frill and Cape, the choice, I think you could see like the choice of magical girl and Cape Crusader or vigilante narrative kind of comes together. Because with superheroes, you could see a lot of genres kind of clashing. Di ba meron kang sci-fi, pero meron ding magic, pero meron ding space opera. With this, it's very self-contained and not as grandiose po, despite their scale. And it's a more personal, it's using the genres and how they contrast and how they parallel yung sidekick and yung magical girl. Both involve diba, adolescent superheroes. You could see how they differ from a standpoint of their gender, from how they were raised, and all of that. I guess if what makes it me, I would have to say is a more focus on humanity and not losing humanity at its core, despite any genres, anything. There's humanity at the end of most projects, of any project, and I really want to focus on that. Yeah. Clashing, yeah.
Ayun. Thank you very much, Roho. Napaka-interesting itong gawain. Actually, lahat ng mga lahat ng mga present nyo so far ang gaganda ng mga concepts, and I'm excited to read all of your works. Michelle, sino nung susunod natin?
So, susunod po is si next President Gib Flores, presenting 2 Days with You.
Ayan. Gib. Ayan. Ay naku, parang ibang lugar yung
Thank you very
ano.
much. Ano po, nandun po si Ro lang eh. Yo, say hi. Or. He's sleeping over right now. So anyway, thank you. My name is Gib Flores, proud member of Makiling Comic Collective and a proud student, creative writing student of Philippine High School for the Arts. Now, this is my book, 2 Days with You. Shout out to my mother, the beautiful Aleli Arguello Flores, who did the cover art, like just all the art in the book. Thank you very much, Mom. And also my dad, who made the best piece of art in the book. It's very obvious because it's like a huge leap in quality. Anyway, the basic premise is it's set in Mars, right? It's set in a colony in Mars where the glass dome of the colony, I picture it as a city where there's a glass dome over it, and the glass dome holds in the atmosphere, the livable, habitable atmosphere that's present here on Earth. But due to a war that is being fought between Mars and Earth, the glass dome is broken, which, it involves all of the citizens, all of the innocent citizens of that giant city being contained in the glass dome in the war between Mars and Earth. And specifically, it focuses on the personal story of Noah and Neo, who are just two teenagers who were left in their homes together. Not together. They were left in their own separate homes across the street from each other. And they're forced to live in isolation as they just hopefully pray for the glass dome to finally be repaired before one of the storms in Mars is able to break one of their windows, letting the toxic air in, which kills them. So they're fighting off the hostile environment, and they're also mostly fighting off the isolation, because one of the main themes that I wanted to tackle with my book was the difference between, the difference between just surviving or not dying and really living. Because, when you're just inside the house, it was made kasi during the quarantine. I don't I don't condone, going out, endangering everyone, but these are my feelings about it. Parang I just want to be able to get out there. The frustration of being caught up inside. Because fun fact, I actually made this back when I was in grade 8. It was a prompt for my screenplay writing class. So, yeah, that's the basic gist of it. In terms of inspiration, you could say I was inspired by, funnily enough, the Pied Piper, the legend of the Pied Piper. The prompt kasi nung grade 8, it was, the basic prompt was my teacher said, oh, you're supposed to make a screenplay based off of a fairy tale. And I was like, what's a good fairy tale? I was like, Cinderella, that's yeah. Beauty and the Beast, parang, and then I found the Pied Piper, which I weirdly found really interesting. And I based it off of the allure to death. Na kasi the Pied Piper, when he plays a song, he lures the children to him, and it's very, parang in the original legend, it's insinuated that he actually leads them to their deaths. Parang
what could be so, that whole concept of something so alluring na even if it causes your death, you'd still want to reach out to it, diba? And yun, I basically translated it to the desire for connection, the desire for connection to another person, the desire to not feel alone. Now that is that was the Pied Piper in the sense. And yun, even if it's dangerous to Noah and Mio, they still want to connect with each other. And that's the danger. So yeah, that was my inspiration for it. The funny backstory it was just a screenplay from the 8th grade. And yeah, thank you to my mom, thank you to my dad, thank you to everyone.
Oh yeah.
Yan. Thank you for all of that. Ang dami mong sinabi and it's really inspiring. Ngayon ang tanong ko, I can see na sobrang dami ng ideas na naiisip nyo as a group and individually, marami kayong naiisip na ideas. How do you filter yung mga good ideas sa mga bad ideas? How do you keep them? How do you nourish the idea to become something like this? What's your creative process sa paggawa ng mga ganitong klaseng stories? Kasi alam ko ang dami yung naiisip pero if you put everything in one book, maybe magiging mas magulo siya or ano. So paano niyo siya ino-organize?
As for organizing, I actually don't have an answer for that kasi parang I'm very open and very proud to show what inspires me. And I'm very glad to use those inspirations to fuel my work. I guess it's na parang I just have this intuition on what would be what would not add to the story too much or what actually would add to the story. Parang ganon. Kasi I really don't consciously curate them, but I just kind of end up doing it. Na parang I can remember na, oh hey, it would be cool if I was to put this in, pero parang just in a few seconds, parang I just thought na, that wouldn't fit. And when it comes to my creative process in and of itself, it's inspired by one of my favorite pieces of media, how it was created, the creative process. My favorite piece of media being Xenoblade, where the Xenoblade franchise. The game itself, the story, it was made by first creating a very interesting setting. And then after that, they created characters that would fill that setting. Parang interesting characters that could populate the setting. And then finally, they create a character-focused story surrounding those characters. And that's what I base my creative process off of. And so far, I've found that I really enjoy the process. Kasi parang it's just generally really fun to think of like these fantastical worlds. Kasi my favorite genre talaga is just all types of fiction. But mainly it's fantasy. But all types of fiction I love. Kaya it's so just interesting to... It's just so fun for me to think of my own worlds, like these huge, lively realms.
That was so bad.
These huge, lively realms. And then after that, I can think of all these characters that would make those worlds more colorful. And then after that, I start to weave a story connecting those characters. What story would these characters actually have to tell?
So, on curating ko, kunwari yung anthology ko, one of our biggest selling things as a visual artist po, since ako rin po yung my part sa layouting sa anthology for Volume 4, one of the things I like to do is to make it easy for people's eyes to read through the comics. So visually, I like to kunwari, start with a comic that utilizes mostly line art, so white and black lining. And then next will be a comic that has darker values, ganun po, to switch it up to the viewer. As for me, I don't usually like look at the story and find it as a bearing to whether or not it should go first or second or third sa layout, since all of these stories naman po there's good things about them, there's bad things about them, but mostly it's good because talagang napapakita po yung interest and yung interest po ng mga members. So as the layout artist, I would just look at how it will meld cohesively together in a visual sense than nitpicking at the story po. So that's how Volume 4 was created.
Oh, yan. Thank you, Michelle. Actually, sa sobrang, ang gusto ko kayo makakwentuhan ng mas matagal pa, pero kulang yung oras
Of course.
natin.
Next time po.
Yeah. Siguro, try natin next time, tigdadalawa or one-on-one interview kung paano natin gagawin. Ito, last question for everyone. What can you advise to young people like yourselves na nahihiyang ilabas yung mga gawa nila? How do they overcome the feeling na hindi pa to pwedeng ilabas? Nahihiya akong ilabas. I have stories pero it's not good enough, mga ganyan. Ano yung masasabi nyo sa mga katulad yung mga kasi yun yung usually na-encounter ko sa mga bagong creators. Nahihiya silang maglabas ng gawa nila. They feel na hindi siya ganun kaganda.
So if I can start po on my personal experience with this, actually po, I am one of those people po na parang I look at my work and it's like, oh, it's not good enough. Oh, I rushed this piece. I rushed this page. Pero in the end po, be kind to yourself. It's not as bad as you think it is, and it's gonna be good for someone out there. So take your time na lang, and then just believe in yourself na you can make a good story, you can make a good comic, and that your skills will grow, it will change, it will improve, and that's one of my biggest problems here kasi Mao in itself is actually my second go at the story. My first go, it was supposed to be just 3 stories and 3 comics and a very short story. But then I was rereading it and I was like, parang hindi pa siya enough. So I took the time to rework it. Yun rin po, never be afraid of reworking things. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I think that's the best thing about self-publishing comics is that you don't have to be at the whims of a publisher. Yeah, who knows? Maybe once it's finished, you can be like, hi po. Pero yun po, it's never be afraid of change and be kind to yourself. That's for myself.
Okay. Thank you, Michelle. Sige. What about Ari? Yan. What can you advise to other comics creators or yung mga writers na para mailabas din nila yung mga gusto nilang ilabas? Or maybe you can give a piece of advice sa creative process. What are the best practices na nakakatulong para mas mapabilis or mas mapaganda yung stories nila?
I really shouldn't be the one to be asked po kasi I am a very messy creator po. my process is very messy po, and like I'm not even sure na parang like I'm not really sure where the confidence comes from whenever like parang I produce my works po. Pero I guess I can say po is like just keep throwing like things slash concepts at the wall until it eventually sticks and you find something that you really love and you want to show to everybody. Yun lang po.
Uh, I'd say
Nakamute
I,
po kayo, sir.
Ay, sorry. Ayan. Giban Rojo, give your piece of advice.
Ooh. To generally younger artists po. All right. In that
Yep.
case, sorry. Um, I would say that one of the most important things to get early is try your best to I know. Sometimes you don't have to go at it alone, even if you're producing a project on by yourself. Asking for a second opinion, be it on an execution of a narrative point, on how you're doing a certain art. Uh, Stay true to yourself, but also be open to asking for help.
all right. For me, I'd say don't don't be shy. Be bold. Just put yourself out there. Don't be concerned about, oh, are people gonna like my work? Just be proud to express yourself through your own art. But do keep yourself humble still. Because, syempre, there's gonna be people who are better than you. There's gonna be people who know more than you. Kaya just have the confidence to put yourself out there, but have the humility to accept criticism and be better.
Ayan. Thank you for your pieces of advice. Malaking tulong yan sa mga ibang comics creators din at mga novelist. What about Anika?
Oh,
Ayan.
well, I was about to say the same thing with Rojo, na yung kind of like artist engagement kind of idea na it like para sa akin po din, it's really almost impossible to come up with a concept. Sorry, maingay po yung pusa po namin, but it's hard to come up with a concept na I can't that I'm making solely for myself. Na parang yeah, like sometimes at the end of the day, like you have to ask yourself like, what is the point of all this? Medyo brash, but like parang what is not like na parang Aesop na moral that you're trying to convey, but more of like yung what is it that you want to show to people, like not just what you stand for, but just a message that you want to say. Kasi, well, I don't want to like keep it too relevant. Pero parang, for example, yung AI, like what is the thing that you want to really put out? Kasi, for example, like, it's so easy na parang to get bogged down, like yung mga bagong stuff that's coming out. And parang, like, just the feeling na you could be replaced by someone else or something na, like, even a machine or anything. And then, pero, it's like, you have to ask yourself, what is it that you have and that you can put out to the world or to even just a close friend na parang minsan ko po parang kachat ko lang din sa Messenger, Discord, just an entire block of lore revolving around the stories that I make. But and parang that in itself is kind of something to hold on to, and parang just like what you want to show out and what you want to ask to others essentially is what becomes your output. Pero that's my that's from my experience po.
Ayun. Thank you very much, Anika. Okay, si ano naman, Langit.
Hi, bro. For younger creators mostly, I think what you should focus on is making it something fun for you to do, because thinking about marketing at an early age isn't exactly healthy sometimes. So, yeah, I think just find an inspiration. Make sure what you're doing is something you love, and I think you will go far.
Yan. Very good advice. Do something that you love. Sobrang inspiring ninyong lahat. Uh, I would like to congratulate every one of you na nakapag-produce kayo ng comics, nakapag-produce kayo ng novel. It's not that easy. It's very hard to create a comics. It's very hard to create a novel. Pero nagawa nyo at a very young age. And sobrang inspiring yun, especially sa mga katulad ko na hindi na ganun kabata. Pero naalala ko yung sarili ko kasi nung time na gumagawa rin ako ng stories at high school. Yan. Dami kong ideas, dami kong ginagawa. Tapos nung medyo nakapag-work na, medyo nabawasan na. So if you're going to ask me for a piece of advice is to never ever stop being creative sa inyong mga ginagawa. Sometimes you will feel tired sa work. Hindi pa to relevant sa inyo ngayon eh. Kasi hindi pa kayo nagtatrabaho. Pero by the time na meron na kayong trabaho, try nyong ituloy yung mga creative outputs kasi malaking tulong yan sa mental health at sa pagiging creative nyo. Who knows, maybe someday yung mga ginagawa nyo makilala, like yung napunta siya sa di ba, yung nakilala sa Angoulême Awards. So
Yes
congratulations. Ito na lang, where can we find you? Yung mga social media nyo, kung meron kayong mga art accounts, promote it para ma-follow kayo ng mga nanonood sa atin.
For Makiling po, my Facebook page po kami and Instagram, it's called the Makiling Comic Collective. No C's, all K's. So, yan. For myself po, you can find me on Instagram at michelle.kinomes po. Kinomes. Ganun po.
Okay. Yan, go ahead. Sinong gustong sumunod? Ano ba? Ganon na lang ako. Ganon, tas ganon, ganon.
Wala po akong like my social media presence po is like non-existent po. I really just parang really sell my books po like physically. I'll get a social media account started soon enough po, pero so far po nothing yet po.
Yung Makiling Comics Collective na lang ang i-follow nyo for Ari's work. Sige, Giban Rojo, go ahead.
Okay. Me, I'm sorry to say, I'm much like Ari. I don't really have much of a social media presence. So if you want to follow my works, go to Makiling Comic Collective Facebook.
Yep, that's about the same for me, but you can, if you want to message me for anything, just Rosero Malaya on Facebook. Yeah.
Anika, go ahead.
Sorry po. I do have a little bit of social media presence, pero mostly wala po ako sa Facebook and or Instagram. Mostly kasi parang ang dami ko po mga relatives dun. Sorry. But, I do post a lot of like art-related stuff sa Tumblr. And, wala na po yung Twitter ngayon kasi. So, Tumblr and Blue Sky. Francis Brooms. That's my username po. Pero most of the stuff, like as always, like sa MKK, the main page does everything.
Ayun. Okay. Si Langit naman, go ahead.
Hello. You can find me on Instagram. Mainly, I'm most active there. It's Sarashi Studios. And I also have a DeviantArt account under the same name, though I'm not as active on that as with Instagram. So That's Sarashi Studios. For Sarashi on my Instagram, the S and the H are switched, just as a joke, but it's easier to find me on DeviantArt. So,
As a side note, po, NKK books, especially our solo works, are also going to be available soon at the Historia Studios po, the bookstore po sa may Bulacan.
Ayun. Actually, hindi pa ako nakakapunta dun eh. Gusto ko rin makapunta dun sa Bulacan, sa Historia Studios.
The same po, actually, si Gib po, out of all of us, nakapunta po. Siya po yung cavalry namin.
Ayun. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining me dito sa Indie Comics Podcast to promote your work. Okay, so again, yung Indie Comics Podcast nasa YouTube. If you have missed the episode, pwede nyo mapanood ng buo sa Indie Comics Podcast YouTube channel. Ayan. So please go to Philippine International Comics Festival 2025. It will be held on July 5 and 6, Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. at Megatrade Hall 2, SM Mega Mall. And watch out for the live interviews happening during the peak of 2025. Ayan. Thank you very much, comics people.
Thank you
See you sa
po.
next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye po.
thank you po.
Thank you po.
Thank you very much.
Peace!